Welcome to DocuGarden. I just harvested some of the least impressive, least nutritious, honestly least recommended terrible soil, and that's my local native soil, untouched, out of the backyard that I just dug up out of a hole, and it looks absolutely terrifying. Do you think that there is any seed in the world that can survive in this? I mean, what does our gardening community say? We have to get the fanciest, maybe even homemade soil so that our plants get all of the nutrients, maybe mix in some vermiculite or perlite and get beautiful starts that just exude perfection. Well, this is not that. And what we're going to do today in this documentary gardening series is use some of the worst soil ever and see if we can start some seeds and see where it goes from there. I present to you the ultimate close-up. Pay close attention to what exactly we are working with here. I'm going to give you a direct comparison between this soil just out of the backyard and what you might find out of a store-bought container or something a little bit homemade. Very different. We will see what it looks like when I actually water the soil. But as you can see, this is high enough quality, the store-bought, to start a seed that has been ran over, frozen, and is a transplant all together and have a beautiful looking plant. All compared to this, let's go ahead actually and dump it out. I'm not even actually going to crush these little dirt clods and little crumbles, but whatever falls out of here, I just want to give a little brief look. So all of those chunks, they're all going to stay in there as is. I am literally not going to treat this at all. I'm not going to boil it. I'm not going to add anything whatsoever. I'm literally just going to drop seeds into this and we will see what happens. But this is a look at it in the form of a pile. And there it is. Just imagine this getting dropped off in your driveway like you ordered some soil and this is what you get right off the dump truck. That would be, I guess, topsoil, my friend, at very best. Look at that. So no more touching it. Let's start some seeds. This soil looks exceptionally dry, so we're going to introduce water, and I'm very curious as to what happens. Will it just become a lump of clay? Will it become dark, nutritious soil? Let's just see what happens. It becomes mud, apparently. Let's see how long. Is it already coming out the bottom? I suppose it is in some areas. But look at the drainage. That is complete sludge almost. Virtually no drainage. It's just pooling up on top all the goodies. And, well, I mean, I guess maybe it is a little bit nutritious because there sure is a whole lot of junk in it. Look at how slow it's taking just to form that mud and soak in even just the smallest amount. It's literally just pulling water on top. Wow. Once some water gets going, it looks like it can drain actually pretty well, but look at what you're left with. It is the forbidden smoothie, if you will. Wow, my goodness. You see rocks and all sorts of junk in there. My goodness. Well, it's about 10 minutes later, and you can see that the volume of soil has shrunk by maybe a quarter or an eighth. So there was a lot of air in there, but wow, it's still so saturated with a small layer of water on top. But I don't have all day for this, so I'm just going to sow some of these frozen seeds that were frozen for 4 years. Some leaf lettuce gourmet salad bowl or salad blend, and we will just go ahead and sow these and see what on earth happens to these mixed variety of seeds here. These poor seeds taking a dive. There's 3 in there. There's 5 seeds right there. And we're going to push them just a tad bit into the soil and see what on earth happens. One good push, and it disappeared into the water. I think we'll leave one very close to the top, just maybe right like that. And then we'll have this one down just a little bit as well. That one pushed down further. And then this one can go just below the surface. And that's what we're working with. I would give so much props if any of these germinate whatsoever. Holy smokes, you guys. Honestly, I did not believe that I would even be making a update to this because, wow, just look at how disgusting this soil is in a way. It's still so saturated too with water from the first watering. Yet, I think that there is germination in here. You'll see it in the bottom right corner of your screen right now. And then in the center of your screen, let's take a zoomed in view of this. Right there, I am under the impression that what we are looking at is a seedling that is trying to sprout right there, poking up out of the soil. And then we even have one right here, even a bit larger, again, that I feel like is just barely poking out. It's so early on in the process that I'm not even sure if that's true or not. Maybe more will come up, but I'm going to start paying attention. I'm just updating right now to say that I am incredibly impressed with this, and this just shows God's work with the soil that we have. Just, it's just insane. Compared to this here, it is the day after I started most of the seeds that I will be starting it all indoors. Check it out. Sitting in their beautiful soil that they get. Absolutely just lovely. But wow, I will be paying attention and we will see. Holy smokes, you guys. And here we are just the next day. And we see the same two actually looking fantastic. Except it gets even better because there's the third right over there in the corner that's standing up. Is that not absolutely just wild? Oh my goodness. Just to give you a reference, it's been at least a few days since planting these, and what I'm going to do is just show you how still just weirdly textured and wet this is. Just like that. I mean, that's like still a moist soil, if you want to even call it that. Kind of like a sludge or mud or something. So I'm not going to water it yet. I'm not sure when exactly to water it, but we'll see. What a special day, even though we have some carnage here. This is transplant day. So all the plants that I started early are officially out, and I get to just reassess. That's another great part. Everything, the space that I have left, each one of those red cups was a plant, or maybe even more than one plant. But what we have here, look at that. And this is what we ended up with. And I think that they've at least earned the right to have their own place in the garden. But before that, let's just go ahead and take a quick peek around at everything that we have going on. Firstly, we have the onion right here, looking rather drab, but fair enough. Over here, we have The only plants really started outside, some spinach, as well as radishes. But man, here's our celery, just transplanted. A cayenne pepper. We have some herbs even. Again, these were transplanted just minutes ago, so they're looking a little bit sad, but we got some thyme and basil. Over there, we have our tomatoes and a whole lot of peppers. 3 tomatoes here of the beefsteak variety. And all of those are jalapenos except for the one in the middle, which is a cayenne pepper. Beautiful little containers. I put in some, I believe, green bean seeds on that side. And then we have some kale put in there. And lastly, in this corner, actually working our way over to where we were going to plant these. There they are. Just another good view of them. We have more tomato plants. Looking lovely. Those are cherries. Large red cherry tomatoes. Roma VF, some of these seeds being from the frozen seeds that were frozen for 4 years. Besides what I showed you before, the radishes and the spinach, these lettuces, the only other ones planted outside. And then we have a little broccoli right here and a little bit more spinach. But check this out. We have the pick-matic out because of how rocky this soil is, but right there, I believe is where we're going to put these plants. Just for scale, here's the bag of spinach, a Raxley grow bag, and the pick-matic next to the plants right there. Huge difference between the color of this soil and what came out of the cup, but it's only a few feet from where I harvested that soil in the first place on the other side of this fence. So it was over 40 days of an experiment here on DocuGarden, and there are more in the works. I do hope that you enjoyed. Is it not super strange seeing the grow space so empty? But perhaps not for long, as there are some other things that are possibly going to be living there sooner than later. What do you think? Please leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. That was very interesting, and I think that I will go ahead and keep you updated on the condition of the plants in the future. Hopefully they don't get stepped on by the dogs. That's the biggest threat, I think, to most of these plants. And just keep you updated in general, as well as just kind of like a normal gardening channel, even though this isn't really that. Ultimately, I feel like I'm impressed. I legitimately did not believe that any growth would happen. Those plants are very small, but I'm so inexperienced with gardening that I can't exactly say how large they would be if they were, say, in more nutritious soil, maybe store-bought or home mixed or something out of better components. But they are very small, and we're going to see how they take, or if they take at all, to the transplanting. And that's very exciting. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you possibly learned that it is possible to grow, or at least start some seeds. In some cases, that was 3 out of 5 that germinated, which is decent just in general. So thank you so much, and stay tuned for more. Have a good one.